Alright, I know your Wii U is just sitting around doing nothing, alright? I'm going to give you a reason to pick that thing up and start playing it. The gamepad, the HDMI out, we're going to start using it and abusing it. Today we're going to do some homebrewing and hacking on the Wii U. Let's get started. Alright, let's get some of that dust off the Wii U. First things first, SD card formatter. Yes, we need to format your SD card. So, pick the drive for the SD card. It'll detect only those drives, so it should be the only one unless you have a bunch. It'll detect all this stuff. Quick format is fine. You can label it, you know, whatever you want. Don't care. And zip format. Oh, it's too long. Okay, fine. Whatever. We'll do it whatever. How's that? Boom. Okay, and it'll do a format. The cluster size will be 32,000, which is what we want. And FAT32 is what we want. So we say OK and close that out. Now, take a look at the SD card. There it is. Whatever. Nice and formatted so that we can use it. So we're going to be installing Homebrew and some custom firmware. Okay, your SD card is formatted. On the left side, I want you to go download all of these. Make sure the right versions are there. And on the right side, make sure your SD card looks like that. And that's it. We're done. No, I'm just playing. If you don't want to go through all the hassle, I found this site when I was on Discord. There's a guy in there called Just Riku, and he showed me this site which allows you to do a Wii setup, and the one that I downloaded was the Wii U only prepare the zip. And so when you click on it and you download it, it'll give you a zip file, and when you extract it you get ta-da, this over here, and it's all done for you. Okay, so that's what you need to go do, and I'll put a link to that in the description so that you can do that. It saves so much time, so thanks to Just Riku. That is awesome. So your SD card's ready. Let's get on to the next step. Alright, next you have to get a game. Go log into the eShop. You can put your SD card in if you like. Go ahead and log in. And you need to get Star Fox Command. I believe Kirby, Canvas, Curse will also work. Brain Age will work, and a couple others will work, but Star Fox is just the one that I picked. Okay? And it also has to be legitimate. You can't do a VC inject or some other kind of hack. It has to be a legitimate eShop purchased game or it will not work. Go ahead and download it and we'll move on. Alright guys, one of the things I forgot to mention, make sure you have the latest version, right? So if you already have Star Fox or you already have Donkey Kong's Jungle Climber, Kirby Canvas, Curse, you know, whatever, make sure it's the latest version of the game. So if you download this game like 5 years ago, it may not work. So just delete it. You can still re-download it without getting charged. And just that way you make sure you don't have any issues, okay? Alright, and what you gotta do is go down to Homebrew Launcher, press A, and launch that. Okay, so we're gonna install the WP installer. Let's see, what page is that on? I think that's on page 3, wasn't it? There it is. So this is the Wii U public installer. There it is. So go ahead and launch that. Tap that on your gamepad. Load it up. It'll take a little second. It's got a nice little Wii Flow kind of, you know, menu to it. Some people do have reported that they get crashes and stuff like that and errors. Basically, just power down the console, try again. Usually the first time it'll fart out and just whatever. Alright, next thing you want to do is launch your browser. So go ahead and launch that thing. From your gamepad, what you can't see is in the top right hand corner, there's settings. Go into settings and go all the way down where it says reset save data. This is not showing up on the recorder because it's on my gamepad, but click reset save data, okay? And it'll ask you if you want to. You say yes, and it says are you sure? You say yes, It says reset complete. The browser will now close. Okay, so that'll set up your browser for the exploit that we're going to use with the game that you downloaded. So let's do that next. Alright guys, we're going to do the Homebrew launcher now. So this will take a little bit of, luck. Sometimes it doesn't work. You got to do it a couple times. Sometimes your console will freeze. Just power it off, try again, no big deal. Okay, so you're here. You've reset all your save data. You're going to see curtains. So you want to open up the curtains first. Okay, go ahead and do that with your X button. Boom. Now what you want to do is go to usploit.hacks.guide. Just click in the URL at the top and then use your gamepad to type it in. Okay, so you'll go there, and what you want to do is select Run Homebrew Launcher. So if you hit down on your D-pad, it'll highlight the button Run Homebrew Launcher, then just hit the A button to actually click on it. Alright, so if everything goes as planned, this is what you should see on your gamepad. Okay, you should see the Homebrew App Store. You should see the Coldboot Haxchi installer, Disk to App, Haxchi installer, all of these different programs that had all the folders from the beginning that I showed you. Okay, so once you copy that in, this is what you should see in your Homebrew. Alright, next we're going to set up the Haxchi installer. That way you don't have to keep going into custom firmware, launching your DS Virtual Console game every time you want to do, or every time you want to launch, Homebrew stuff. So go ahead and launch your Haxchi installer on the bottom. And as long as you have the config.txt, the one that I, sent in the link, the right one, not the default one, this should work just fine. Okay, if not, it's going to behave very, very differently. Okay, so anyway, it's going to show a list of games that you can use. Of course, I got Star Fox Command, so go ahead and pick that one, or pick your game. Just hit the A button, to select it, and it'll say, are you sure? Press A. So go ahead and push A again, and it'll start doing its install. Alright, once it's done, it will reboot you, well, not reboot you, but it'll send you back to your main, looking screen here. And what you'll be able to see on your gamepad, let me see if I can swap it real quick. Can y'all see that? There we go. So you'll see Haxchi as a icon. Okay, so that's what you want to go ahead and launch. So let's do that now. Let me swap it back so that I can click on it on my gamepad. Is it going? Yeah. So double tap it, and it will launch Haxchi, and it'll reboot, and this will start enabling some of your custom firmware features. Okay. And to make sure that you don't have to do this every single time, we're going to set up Coldboot Haxchi next. Okay. That way it'll do this every time. So let's do that next. Alright, let's get Coldboot Haxchi running. That way you don't have to keep launching your DS, Virtual Console game, which was Star Fox Command, now Haxchi, every single time, that you do that. So, put your big boy pants on, because this is where you could brick your system, okay? So, you better have the functional Haxchi, setup. If you followed it to the T and you've seen everything that I've seen so far, keep going, okay? If your console froze, you need to do it a couple times, that's no big deal. But you also have to have your game on the internal memory. If you save that game to your USB drive or external drive or SD card or whatever, you're going to brick it, okay? It has to be a legitimate copy, installed and downloaded from the eShop. If you did not buy it from the eShop, you're going to brick it. So if you got a legitimate copy and you installed it on the internal memory, and you have a functional Haxchi, then we can continue. Okay, big boy pants are on. First, make sure all your USB devices are unplugged. I don't care if it's external drive, thumb drive, don't matter. Anything USB, unplug it. Okay. Now what you want to do is go back to your Homebrew launcher, launching this DS game. Okay. So this screen right here where it says Haxchi, see how it says hold A to Homebrew, launch the Homebrew launcher? That's what you want to do. So hold A and then tap it. So let's do that. Okay, and let go of A once you see this screen. Okay? Don't let go of it until you see this screen. I did that a couple times. I was like, doggone it, it's not working. Alright, so now let's launch the Coldboot Haxchi installer, which is number 2. Load it up. It'll give you a warning and some instructions to select the game. Make sure that's the same game you used to install Haxchi to begin with. Okay, don't pick a different game, okay, on this list. Okay. So it's going to say, hey, press A to install it. This could potentially break your system. Okay. Go ahead and hit A. Big boy pants are coming up. And it'll take you back to the system menu once it's done. Okay. But if it freezes or you have some issues and it breaks your system, you know, then sorry guys, you missed something. But that's not what's supposed to happen. This is what's supposed to happen. Okay, if everything works, you'll be back on your desk. Top, I guess, whatever you call that. And now your icon will change to the Coldboot Haxchi. Okay, and so now you have successfully gotten Coldboot Haxchi installed, so you don't have to keep launching that game every single time you try and you know, get into your custom firmware. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. Go ahead and reboot your Wii U and go ahead and reconnect any USB devices. It's safe to do it now. Okay. Alright, so you rebooted your Wii U. If your Coldboot was good, you're going to see a menu. Alright, here we go. So let me bust this down for you. Boot system menu, that means you want to boot it into the custom firmware, your CFW, okay? Next one, the Homebrew launcher. That's going to boot into your Homebrew launcher, okay? Mocha, well, yeah, we don't really need that. That's kind of as a backup in case you didn't want to use Coldboot Haxchi, but you don't really need it, okay? Forward image, don't worry about this one. It's, I don't even know what it is. I'm not even going to talk about it or act like I know what it is. Virtual Wii system menu, obviously that's going to go to your virtual Wii, and then Virtual Wii Homebrew, obviously goes to your virtual Homebrew channel. Okay, so what you want to do is go down here to Auto Boot and click the A button until it says System Menu. That's the one that you want, which is the top one because we want it to boot into the custom firmware. Okay, so let's select that and we will reboot the Wii U. And just go back up to Boot System Menu and select that. And you should see your Wii U menu pop up. No errors and no issues. Working through this, guys, step by step, making sure you guys are good. Alright, there it is. So go ahead and reboot your Wii U one more time. You just want to make sure that the automatic, you know, system menu boot, so it goes right into the custom firmware, actually works. Okay, so go ahead and reboot and test that out. Otherwise, go back into that menu and make sure that you selected it right, and then you went up to it and selected it with the A button. Alright, so this is what you should see when you reboot. Coldboot Haxchi version, whatever. I'm using 1.6, which is the latest. Okay. Now, a couple warnings, guys. So far, so good, but there are still potentials to brick your system. Okay. First of all, don't format your device. Okay. If you got Coldboot Haxchi installed, if you format your device, you just, yeah, bye bye. Okay, you bricked it. Okay, don't delete your user account that purchased that virtual console game. Okay, that's very key as well. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, don't what was the other one? Oh, don't reinstall the virtual console game. Okay, don't re-download it and install it. You will brick. Number 4, don't move that virtual console game to any other USB device. Leave it on the internal memory. Okay, you do that and you brick. What was the last one? Don't uninstall it. Yeah, don't uninstall it or remove it. Okay, you will brick it. Okay, those are your warnings, guys. You want to do one of those 5, you're on your own, have fun. You know, but I just want to give you a little heads up. You do any one of those, you will break. Okay, so ever onwards. Let's get into the Homebrew launcher. Alright, we're doing good so far, guys. Let's get the Homebrew channel launcher actually installed as an icon. Okay, so go ahead and launch your. Let me swap this real quick so you guys see what I'm doing. It also gives you the reminders right there on how you brick stuff. You know, don't format, don't delete, da 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 da. Anyway, go ahead and launch that, and let's see if I can get back here. Alright, there we go. Go ahead and launch that, double tap it, or mouse, if you're using. Now when this screen pops up here, there it is, auto booting. Hold the home menu, or home button, and you'll see it go into my menu. And once you get into this menu, then you'll be able to do, so this will take a little minute. Well, I was a dummy. I was staring at the screen for about 10 minutes till I realized the pop-up actually came up on the gamepad. So here's a photo of what it looks like. You'll say, you'll click on HPC, it'll turn green with a little check mark. Then you'll click install. It'll say, are you sure? And you'll say yes. And you'll say, where do you want to install it? Do not select USB, put this on your NAND, okay? And then once you do that, then you should see this screen pop up here. And it'll take you back and show you the install Homebrew channel process. It should only take a couple seconds. It's pretty fast. Okay. And on the gamepad, it'll say it's successfully installed. So click OK. It should take you back into the menu here. Okay, and then back to that screen that is on the gamepad with this picture here. Okay, so just push your home button, and that'll take you back to the Homebrew launcher. What I meant to say was just hit the home button again. I think you have to hit it like 2 more times, and basically then it'll take you all the way back out to the beginning. Okay. All right, because automatic updates are performed, you may have all of this hard work wiped away with the next update, which probably won't happen since the Switch has taken over, but just in case, we want to change the system settings and the internet DNS servers that are set. Okay, but once you do that, you cannot access eShop. So every time you boot up, you need to run the NNU patcher from Homebrew. Okay, that'll temporarily allow you to go into eShop, do what you got to do, download whatever you want to download. You know, and then you won't have to worry about, you know, not being able to get to eShop. But if you don't need to get to eShop, then you're fine. Okay. So anyway, you will go to System Settings, which is the wrench-looking thing on your gamepad. Looks like that. Go ahead and launch that. Then you go to the Internet. Let me pick up my gamepad so I can see if I can do both of these things here. Okay. It shouldn't take too long. Okay. Let's see. Internet and connect to the internet. Yes. Okay, so select internet and connect to the internet. Okay, and then go ahead and hit X, and it'll show you all of your connections. Okay. Now, once you're in here, what you want to do is select the connection that you're actually using, whatever Wi-Fi connection you're using, or hardwired, whatever. Okay, so go ahead and select it with the A button. And then go into change settings. I'm talking this through because you guys can't really see what I'm doing. It's showing something different on there. And go down to DNS. Obviously it's on the second page on the bottom, and instead of saying auto obtain, say don't auto obtain. Okay, and then I'm gonna put these 2 IP addresses on the screen so you can see it. So you're gonna set it to 168.235.092.108 for the first one, and for your secondary DNS 081.004 4. The reason you have to put zeros is because there's no spacing. Dot 127 and then dot 020. Let's hit OK to that. Okay, and then go down to the bottom and confirm that, and go back by hitting B, and that'll save it. Okay, and this will block your device from being updated. Okay. Alright guys, you have successfully homebrewed your Wii U. It is ready now for these emulators. So in the next set of videos, what I'm going to do is start covering some of these for the Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Genesis, MAME, you know, so start looking for these videos next. But you are ready to go. I would recommend making a NAND backup just in case, you know, that way you can restore it in case you do mess up something, but you are pretty much good to go, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, post them below. If you did not follow this to a T and you bricked your system, do not send me a message, because I'm not going to be able to help you because you didn't follow the video. But otherwise, me and T will do our best to answer your questions. But until next time, guys, thanks.